Fight listeners, we're taking calls tonight. That's right, Sunday night Street Fight. Number to dial is 614-655-3887. We're coming to you on the west side, the best side, the bottoms here in Columbus, Ohio. And we might have a little bit of a soundtrack going on. Our neighbors are rocking the house a little bit.
A little.
Bumping some Anderson .Paak.
It's the loudest I've ever heard somebody personally listen to music in a public place.
I could show you something, or I could show you a thing or two.
Now you know why we got that email about people being too loud? We thought it might have been us because we talk too loud. I think we found the culprit here.
Don't be jealous.
I don't care. I'm not mad about it. I don't think the listeners
acting
can
like the
super hear it.
No, it honestly though is that we just sat here the whole time, and like right before we started to record, like music just blasted. Music just started, 150 decibels of music started blasting next door.
As loud as possible. There's never been louder music in my vicinity.
Street Fight Live, live out loud.
You should. You should live out loud. We just did a little over 2 hours of radio. So, you know, we've been talking our heads off. Brett sent me a really disturbing thing.
Yeah, that's,
we can't post that or talk about
for another
that.
day.
That's more for private consumption.
Yeah. We did the Q&A, which is always fun. Thank you to everybody that wrote in and asked us questions, because I love talking about myself and I love sharing information, you know. It was perfect.
Yeah.
We're built for Q&A. Q&A is easy to do.
Q&A is easier to do than the call-in show. I'll tell you that right now.
21st century.
Oh, now it's Bruno Mars.
It's Bruno Mars,
Anderson
yeah.
.Paak.
I can't pay attention now.
Anderson .Paak kind of hip. Bruno Mars. Well, Anderson
No,
.Paak,
they work together.
I tried to get into that.
Yeah.
The Soul Force.
Yeah.
I tried to get into that, but Bruno Mars I can't do with it.
Too corny.
He's too Taylor Swift. He's like
Okay.
that axis of music.
Yeah.
But I do like that song that sounds like Motown Philly.
Yeah.
I like anything that sounds
skate
like
song
Motown
is good.
Philly. Yeah.
I saw Anderson .Paak live. Incredible drummer. Amazing fucking percussionist. Like on another fucking level. Unbelievable. But I don't like his attitude, and he does some like colorism type shit in some of his songs. Like on, I think it's Ari Lennox or Jasmine Sullivan. One of them. I just don't like his shit, his steez.
Yeah.
But everybody that's listening to Street Fight now, you know, you get a little taste of it.
Yeah, you're listening. We'll probably get pulled off. It's so now they're yelling too. This is incredible. Our office is like
party.
If you want
Party
to talk,
Central.
If you, we might have to after the show's over go hang out with our neighbors.
Street Fight Live coming to you from MTV Spring Break.
That's what it sounds like.
We got
That's
the
totally
Weasel
it.
with us right now. Colin Quinn's gonna do a live version of Remote Control.
That's Ken Ober, by the way. He was the host of Remote Control.
Wasn't Colin Quinn?
Colin Quinn was the guy that hung out in the basement with him. So Remote Control happened in Ken Ober's basement.
Oh.
Okay? That was the conceit of Remote Control.
Gotcha.
And then Colin Quinn was like his cousin who hung out at the bar in the basement. And it was that kind of setup. Yeah.
I went to 2 concerts this week.
Really? What did you see?
Friday night, I went to go see Biba Doobie.
Biba Doobie.
Yes.
Is that like jazz?
It sounds like it. It does sound like it. Apparently, it's the name of someone's like Finstagram.
Biba Doobie.
Very
Filipino
good.
British singer-songwriter.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, basically, like Olivia Rodrigo is like a Kurt Cobain, in that she is riding in on the wave of like a bunch of other like women singer-songwriters, you know?
Oh yeah,
that make
this
good
is
music.
big.
Biba Doobie was really good live. Very low effort, which I love. Like, I see a lot of stuff that has like theatrics and over-the-top stuff. But like when someone's just wearing like a t-shirt and jeans and has compelling music and lyrics and all that, you know? Lucy Dacus was the same way. It's just like, fuck, it looks like you don't care at all. It looks like you just rolled out of bed, but you didn't. Like, you've perfected all of this. You probably spent an incredible amount of time making it look this effortless, you know?
Yeah.
You care so much.
I do. I mean,
Yeah.
people could think I'm a scrub
it's
or
the
whatever,
same.
but yeah, I put too much into it.
Rachel said, Biba Doobie, she was like, man, the Battle of the Bands is really good this year. Which I thought was apt because it looked like a high school Battle of the Bands. But the music was like incredible, mind-blowing, way good. But you would never know that. It would look like, yeah, it was fun. It was a really good show. Highly recommended. I hope she gets bigger and better. I want to see her get more fame so that I can say I saw her early on, you know. Last night I went to go see death metal show. I got hit in the eye again. I'm very bad at protecting I lead with my right eye is what I'm finding because it's injured again.
I was like, why is it taking so long? Me and Brett, I should have asked him. Brett stood and kindly talked to me about my ailments for like 25 minutes earlier today. So I should have asked about your eye, but all I was thinking was like, you slow eye healing ass motherfucker. I thought it was slow heal is what you were having.
No, I got re-injured in the eye last night. It was Vomit Forth, Frozen Soul, Sanguisugabog. Amazing show.
Sanguisugabog. I actually saw that today.
They're Columbus, Ohio. They're from here.
I walked by the venue.
Yeah.
Today, as I was heading out to the cookie party we just spent today.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows what a cookie party is because a lot of people that listen to Street Fight maybe don't even have like a family or children. Well, if you have children, you have to make a bunch of cookies and go sit at a house and eat said cookies.
Yeah, everybody decorates a gingerbread man and woman. Gingerbread folk.
I didn't do one.
They're playing Ro James' Permission right now, which is kind of a low-key hit. I don't know if everybody knows it, but it's a fucking great song. Permission by Ro James.
Permission by Road James.
Ro James, yeah. R-O, yeah.
Ro James.
It says a high amount of fuckability.
Brett's been setting me up with music because I've decided to take it seriously again this year.
You want to have an impressive Spotify rap to screenshot.
Well, that's the thing with me is like I think I'm like an every other year guy. Like, so some years I'll be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna, some years I decide I'm not gonna go out of my way. I'd rather just listen to fucking like what I'm into.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like, why not? Why can't I listen to the stuff that makes me the most happy? Why can't I listen to the same albums I did when I was driving around at 17?
And then you get your Spotify Wrapped and it says, bro, all you did was listen to the same shit you listened to when you were in 10th grade this year. So I moved over and now I said this on the show earlier, but you know, you people deserve it. You deserve to hear it now for the news. But every other year. So this year I'm going heavy in. I also think this might be garbage time too for Spotify Wrapped in that, like, does this period of time count on next year's Spotify Wrapped?
Oh, you mean December 1st? Is that the new start date?
Is it January 1st is when it starts doing the Wrapped? Are we in garbage time?
I'm not going to listen to any cool shit unless it's getting tracked. Okay?
That's how I felt about
I'm not
it
gonna
the other day.
I'm not going to eat my vegetables unless it's going into my calorie counter. Wow, that was fucking really loud. Wow.
I just can't believe how loud the music is.
I love it.
I cannot believe it.
I'm jealous. That's all it is. I'd rather be there than here. Of course, I'm working, but, you know, we know there's a good party next door we can crash. I have like one beer. I'm going to walk in with one beer and just wave it above my head, and they'll assume that I brought a bunch more, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I brought the beers. One for me, really. I'm going to smoke all your weed, too. Sorry.
But my list is looking cooler now. It's like I was listening to this one album called Inner City Beat.
Ooh.
That was like basically it's Soul Jazz Records presents Inner City Beat, detective themes, spy music, and imaginary thrillers. So
Okay.
it's fake detective themes and spy music.
Right.
Right? That's kind of fucking cool.
Sure.
It's like, you know, for a cop show. That didn't sound like, that didn't even have cop show vibes at all.
I mean, Gunfighter Ballads by Marty Robbins is one of my favorite albums ever, and he never was in his life in a gunfight.
Katie fucking was, I was laying there watching TV yesterday with my torn up back. That's right. My back's fucked up. When I'm laying there watching TV, I haven't changed my lifestyle even a little bit other than quitting smoking.
Oh, your lifestyle is your death style. Did you know that?
That's true. I heard that from Metallica. But what I'm saying is, like, my back is fucked up. I technically should change my lifestyle, but all I did was quit smoking and start eating a lot more since I decided to quit smoking.
Okay.
That's bad.
That's a fine trade-off.
Trying to figure that out.
That's less. No, that's fine.
Yeah, well, I don't want to eat that much. So anyway, I'm laying there and I hear, she thinks I still care. And I think I'm going right back to George Jones very soon, man.
Yeah.
Just that fucking
That's
guy
one of the
rules.
greatest songs ever, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
Just the folly. He's like, just because I like accidentally called you on the phone and just because I'm like talking about you all the time, like now everybody thinks I still care about you. It is Conway and George Jones are my guys forever because they are so self-aware of how much they are the cause of all of their own problems.
Yeah. Yeah. George Jones has some of the best sad songs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And you know, I fucking love sad songs. If the best kinds of songs are the sad ones. I don't like songs that aren't sad a lot of times.
Not
Sometimes
ones
I
like
the
outwardly
party.
Yeah. Not outwardly sad though. Not like I'm feeling really sad, but just describing things that are like pathetic and that are sad.
Yeah. That's why I like Daniel Romano a lot. He has an album called Come Cry With Me that is just a masterpiece of a guy crying a lot. Yeah. He cries about everything.
I love crying guys.
Yeah.
But Conway for me is also more horny than George Jones, and he is like the perfect 50-50 balance of horny and crying that totally exemplifies my lifestyle.
Horny and cry. I didn't know Conway Twitty did horny songs.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I don't know if I've heard a lot of Conway Twitty.
Oh, all of his songs, like one of his best songs is "I'd Love to Lay You Down," and my favorite part of this is it cracks me up because he says, "Lay you down and softly whisper pretty love things in your ears." Like he doesn't say what it is. He isn't gonna say I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna say pretty love things, and I'm gonna tell you all the things a woman likes to hear. Like it doesn't matter the content of it. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but that's what's coming. You know.
He's also saying that like I'm just fucking saying shit.
Right, exactly.
Sex,
I'm spilling. Like, yeah, just let me in. I'm about to tell you all kinds of crazy shit. Like, just let me do it.
I was speaking to a woman recently, and she told me what women like to hear.
Right.
And I'm gonna say all those things to you, and it's gonna be great for you.
Yeah, he says, I'll let you know how much it means just having you around. That's such a fucking, you can't say that out loud, man. You got to play that to the chest. He's given game. He's basically given game on this one.
He is Conway Twitty. He did maybe no. I'm thinking of Johnny Paycheck. I've heard a lot of Conway Twitty.
You have to have. He's a legend in the game. I'm getting a portrait tattoo of his face.
Conway Twitty. Now I got to look at his face. I don't have it in my head. I like George Jones when he got old. His hair was
he had
fucking
that great
fly, dude. Oh, Conway Twitty has fly hair too.
You know what my song is for George Jones? I listen to this all the time. Every time I'm getting mad, I don't need your rocking chair.
I don't need your rocking chair.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Whenever I feel old or like I'm not supposed to be doing shit, I'm just like, fuck that. I'm not old. Your Geritol or your Medicare.
He doesn't even want Medicare, and that's free.
He doesn't want any fucking help. He's 60 years old, decrepit as fuck, and he's like, leave me alone.
Yeah. And he looks like shit, probably, you know?
Drank himself to,
Yeah, him and George Jones are both a couple of guys. Like
no, George Jones is,
George Jones' hair was like the craziest hair I've ever seen in my life.
The 80s country rocked, man.
Yeah, those guys knew what they were doing.
Reagan era country.
With that fucking hair, and they probably all voted for Reagan 3 times each. You know? But God damn it, the guys could put together a goddamn song, man.
They literally would be outlaw country and then throw on a turquoise jacket and hold a guitar and just make the next goddamn hit.
I know.
They didn't give a fuck. They wanted to make money and they wanted to be at the top of the charts. They were not concerned about what the style, like what used to be cool.
Yeah, in Johnny Cash's book, he talks about that, like how like, dude was just like, well, I was writing all these fucking songs and it wasn't selling the way I wanted to. So then I wrote like Country Chicken, I think is the name of the song. And then had a guy dressed like a chicken running around in the video. And it didn't do that well, but, I tried. What is that Country Chicken or something? Like they didn't even care. That's what I liked about disco too. Now, in retrospect, like disco was really music just about like, y'all like this? We'll just do it then. That's fine with me.
No, it wasn't. Disco came from like black house parties in Chicago and the Midwest.
I guess like,
and then white people turned it into something else.
Turned it into disco duck.
Right. Yeah, it's the same way that
that's what white people do.
Ruined fucking breakdancing and all that stuff, and had every fucking white person say, "My name is Brett, and I'm here to say I get down funky in a special way."
Well, now when you say it like that, that means we can't do that.
I know, we're out.
Yeah, so don't do that. Chicken and Black is the song by Johnny Cash.
I don't think I've ever heard that one.
I know, and Johnny Cash is just like, that ain't good, man.
Well, Daytona Worker says, how the hell did Kiss end up doing a disco song? I'm sorry, that's one of the only good songs.
It's the best
It's like
song.
the one of the greatest songs they ever fucking did.
Strutter and
I Was Made for Loving You.
I know, that song and Strutter are the two best.
Is Strutter
Kiss
their
songs.
disco song?
No, it's not a disco song.
Okay,
I'm just saying they got two good songs, and it's that and Strutter.
I mean, for me, it's like I was
made for loving you, babe. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
watch
that on the way
fuck
home.
the goddamn air and get ready for a day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate Kiss because I like music by people that aren't very good musicians. But I Was Made for Loving You is their best song by far. I can't believe people even got mad at them for making I Was Made for Loving You.
Because they weren't hard rock. I mean, they were just like 50s greaser bullshit.
Yeah, which I like.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I guess you had to be there. There wasn't enough technology that shit sounded crazy at the time, but we're never going to understand in retrospect how like punk or Kiss or any of that was actually like impressive.
Yeah. Psychic Gasoline in the chat says the shock jock that incited the disco burning riot was a chode though. Now
That's true.
Yeah,
he was homophobic and anti-black. That's why he did it.
And let me say
that's what disco was. It was white. That was white people going after black people.
Let me say this. This is just two things here, right here. One, all shock jocks are fucking chodes. Two,
true.
I mean, that's part of doing it. Is you got to be a chode, a dork. But two, like, yeah. People that don't like...
It's dog whistle. It's saying this shit is gay. That's all they were doing was saying this shit is gay.
It's so weird, too, because by the time it was, like, the late 90s, it was, like... I remember the first time I heard Stayin' Alive. Maybe not the first time, but I remember hearing Stayin' Alive when I was in high school and being like, this song fucking rips, man. And, like... I didn't hear a lot of disco songs I didn't like. I still haven't heard a lot of disco songs I don't like.
But that's happening right now, though. In the same way people are like, Evanescence is good. Like that's 20 years ago, I would never have said that out loud.
Yeah. They're not, though.
They never were. I mean, they have some stuff that sticks with you, and it's all a cultural thing, but like... Yeah, I mean, it's Staying Alive. Everybody that was around was Staying Alive and was around was like, fuck this. Everyone that was around that heard fucking Killing Me Softly by Roberta Flack, when they heard Lauryn Hill do it again in the 90s, they were like, I fucking hated this song the first time around. It was on the radio too much. It's played out.
Yeah, yeah.
And all of this stuff all the old stuff eventually just becomes cool again or popular or more digestible.
I guess also...
You're not as hateful.
It also gets... like distilled down to the best stuff. So like if you ask somebody about disco, they'll be like, here's like some really great disco songs and you can go fucking bonkers to those songs. Brett showed me Oz Shani Bar.
Yeah.
And I still listen to that song like once a fucking week where it's just like Oz Shani Bar. I don't even know what she's fucking saying.
Yeah.
It's just called Oz Shani Bar. And
We
I
gotta
go
see
fucking
her.
bonkers for that.
She wants to perform live again. More than anything, I want to see her.
I do. I want to see
Rupa.
Oz Shani Bar.
Yeah.
It's like an Indian disco song and it fucking rips ass, man. It makes
The whole
you wanna
album
go
is good.
nuts.
Disco Jazz by Rupa.
Yeah, yeah. That's so cool. And disco jazz is like exactly what I'd be really into now.
Right.
I haven't said this on the show yet, but I'm Jazz Brian now. I'm really into jazz right now. And it sounds like I just decided I'm into jazz, but I've always liked some jazz, but I didn't give a lot of it a chance. So I would be like, I like Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. Like I fucking go bonkers for that album all the time. From way back in the day. Now though, I'm like, I like John Coltrane. I love Supreme. I like soul jazz records. I like
But you like the
Delvin Lamar or Organ Trio. I like the
What do you like,
Fantastic
though?
Three, the
What
Fabulous
sounds do you
Three.
like, though?
The organ. I like the organ.
fast or slow?
Okay. You know,
Like a little ramble.
yeah, like
Like
middle. I don't
bebop-
like fast
bebopping.
anything,
Bebop.
dude. I'm not a fast music guy at all. Like most
hard
music
bop.
I like is mid-tempo
Okay.
to slow is what I'm into. And then not too slow because, okay, Daytona Worker, I'm going to explain something to you here. Static X called themselves Death Disco, okay? They were not that. They did not live up to either one of those things. Static X. Thank you. But no, I like jazz because it's going to be really impressive when my Spotify Wrapped comes in and people are going to be like, damn, Brian, you listen to jazz all year?
No, but the type of people that'll be impressed by that, you're not going to be happy about.
I know. Well, here's what got
The
me
type
into
of
jazz.
geeks that are into that, man, you got to pick your people, man. Just be happy with your people.
Here's what got me into jazz. It was watching a documentary about Kenny G and the jazz critics on it got me really excited about jazz because they were such gatekeepers.
Yeah.
They just were not into fucking new people getting into jazz. And I was like, I got to become a jazz critic guy, man.
Sure.
I love gatekeepers. Like I was so in, when I was a kid, I'm just like, we need more gatekeepers. You should
I
have
agree.
to fucking pass a quiz to come to a concert.
I just left a holiday party where I complained that Hot Topic was getting too like open with the shirts that they sell, and they should get rid of the pop music bullshit and make it closed off more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it really fucking weird again.
That's my jam. I love that shit. I love.
Yeah, I agree.
these
I mean,
guys
there's
were
no
just
reason
like-
to do it unless you're telling other people to fuck off.
Yeah, these guys were just like, you gotta know the whole history of jazz before you can truly understand how to listen to jazz.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love it. I'll never know the whole history of jazz. I don't even think I care about the whole history of jazz.
You like feeling inferior, though.
I love this fucking guy that's like a fucking nerd that's dressed in the worst possible clothes of all time, looking me right in the fucking face and being like, you don't belong here because you have a skull on your t-shirt.
Looking his nose down at you.
Yeah,
what
I
do
love
you
it.
know? What have you heard?
Yeah.
What do you even have any idea?
And if he came to one of my fucking shows, you know what I mean? Like if I'm at a Korn concert and that jazz guy showed up, I remember fucking being like, when I'd go see Deftones and Korn and Limp Bizkit and all that stuff growing up, I'd go fucking see those things. And I'm not lying to you. No bullshit. I looked for the critic. I was looking for the Dispatch critic to tell him to eat shit because he always gave every one of the concerts I went to a bad review. And now I look at it and I'm like, that made me like the music more.
Yeah.
I liked it more because a guy that I didn't ever see, but know he was a fucking geek, didn't like it. I just knew in my head, if you're going to fucking sit down at a word processor and you're going to, people were too rowdy at this concert, then you're a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't like this.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I remember one time I went to the movies, and since I'm not a film guy, you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't watch a lot of like independent film or anything like that. I'm not like a filmy film guy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going
You're filmy, but not in like the movie sense.
like, yeah, like gross. I go to the movies. I fucking see the guy sitting in the theater with a notebook and a pen and a little tiny flashlight. And he's writing through a lot of the movie, right?
Recently?
This is years ago.
Oh, okay.
This is years ago now. And if I had known that it, because I don't even remember the movie now. I can't even fucking get in the mind of the movie right now. But if I had known that the movie was going to be good and it was going to end up being something I feel strongly about, I would have loved to have yelled at that guy. He looked the world's biggest dork. He was such a dork. And you know what? He probably thought, like, those guys look at me and they go like this. Like a jazz critic guy looks at me and is like, what a fucking caveman redneck idiot.
Knuckle dragger.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the peanut gallery showed up.
Did you see, before we get to the calls, I got to ask you this. Did you see the Jordan Peterson Kid Rock tweet?
No.
Oh my God.
That happened?
It's going to make you mad because it made me mad. Somebody tagged me on it and I got so fucking mad about it, but I didn't say anything about it. And I don't know why I was so fucking mad about it. It just really annoyed me. So I got to get it up here.
Let's hear it.
And it's going to bug you. I know it, but it's going to take me a sec. Okay, here it is. Life in Nashville. And so it's a picture of a big bar, okay? It says, Life in Nashville. Kid Rock's, nary a mask in sight. Praise the Lord and bless the rednecks.
Jordan Peterson posted that?
Jordan Peterson posted.
I saw that tweet. I had no idea who it was from.
Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
Okay.
I wish somebody would have whipped his ass. Like, he doesn't belong at Kid Rock's bar, you know?
Yeah,
and like,
he's a creep. He's just like watching from the outside, like sweating profusely. Like, look at all these rednecks having their freedom.
They're having so much fun. I don't like nothing they like or anything about them. And I think they're all kind of gross. And I don't want to rub up against any of them. But it's so good they don't wear masks.
They have depraved sexual proclivities and drink alcohol in excess, but exhibit a kind of freedom that you could only find in the Disney canon of movies.
I hated. I got so mad when he said rednecks.
Yeah.
It made me so mad because I'm allowed to say it because I am one.
Well, I mean, also, I'm going to say anybody that's been to Nashville knows that you need $1,000. You need a few $1,000s to stay.
Yeah, really?
It's the bachelorette capital of the world. It's all about money. Like, that's not like the local watering hole. It's funny because it's presented as if like everybody in Nashville that drives a lifted F-150 is going down to that place. And it's like, no, this is for fake asses.
Yeah.
This is the Disney of redneck. Like, Nashville is the Disney of redneck. Beyond even like Dolly World and everything.
Yeah. People
go down there, they put on a pair of boots, everyone's like, stop them, girl, you know? Keep buying, keep spending money.
Yeah. One more thing before we get to the phones, Brett. And if you want to call in, there are open lines here. That's maybe why we're bullshitting so much. Big news. I opened up Twitter to look up that Jordan B. Peterson post, Brett.
Uh-huh.
And one of the trending topics is hashtag boycott IHOP.
Okay.
Which I feel like
I've been doing that my whole life.
I haven't been to IHOP.
I just see it and then I'm like, boycott. I just never go. I just naturally knew not to go ever.
Last time I went to IHOP was with you.
Okay. I'm guilty now.
We were on acid. Or no, mushrooms.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it was fucking desperation misery.
It was basically like two guys stranded on a desert island found like a buoy to hold on to. It was like a floating trash pile that we could get a little bit of rest from.
We almost died.
Yeah. We went to wrestling in Louisiana and everybody ordered... the wrestling was like a half hour away from Bourbon Street where everyone was staying. So everyone called a Lyft and an Uber at the exact same time. It was going to be like $125 to get back home. We're like, let's walk until it gets cheap. We walked for like a fucking hour and then had to take refuge in an IHOP.
Yes. And it's funny because the show started at midnight. So it
Oh,
ended
yeah.
at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it was 4 a.m.
And we were just walking down this like 4-lane highway, and we went to an IHOP and we ate there. That's the last time I ate here. But they're saying to boycott IHOP, Brett.
Okay.
And so here's what I have. It is a sign that is hung on the cash register, apparently, at an IHOP. And it says, due to the fact that Biden gave out way too much free money and nobody wants to work anymore, we are forced to reduce our hours during the week, Monday through Friday, and then it lists their hours and says, thank you for your understanding and patience, IHOP. So people now want to boycott IHOP for saying, people don't want to work no more, Brett.
Oh, they're going after IHOP for saying people don't want to work no more?
Yeah.
I think that's fair, though. I don't think people do.
Oh, yeah. It also says, apologies, we are short. Here's another one. Apologies, we are short-staffed. No one wants to work anymore. Also,
Real quick.
it's so funny to say no one wants to work anymore. No, no one wants to work for what you're offering anymore.
And to be that understaffed and be that overwhelmed. I was doing DoorDash this week. I went to a KFC. I was supposed to pick up the order. The dining room wasn't open at all. Like, the app told me, go into the dining room, pick shit up. There was a line out into the fucking road that I stayed in. I get to the front. I get to the speaker. I tell them I have a DoorDash order, and they're like, "Oh, that person ordered wings. It's going to take 12 minutes."
Yeah.
And then I look at them. So then I pull up to the window and I talk to them. It is one fresh-faced 18-year-old child. Look, it looks like Gwen.
Yeah.
I know we disagree on who's adult. Child to me. Look, a baby-faced little girl had dozens of adults doing burnouts, cussing them out, saying, fuck this place. They were out of chicken, and she was just, like, dying on the fucking vine and wouldn't walk away. Like, just was too young and naive to just, like, hit the bricks.
Thinks they're going to get in trouble.
Right, exactly. Think that it's going to go on their record and that they're not getting another job or something.
I mean, your parents do tell you when you're
know.
little, like, you know, here's the thing, bro, you're gonna need references. So you never want to leave a job. But it's like, nobody knows.
No, they're desperate as fuck. They need somebody right now.
That makes me want to cry thinking
It
about
was
that. That's why I don't want to go
When
working at fast food.
I know. I mean, she was just all by herself on the South End where people are like already go nuts, you know.
Oh, yeah. they're big tapping your foot on the floor in a blind rage. Part of town there. I've seen some crazy shit happen there.
Just so many showy displays of leaving the drive-thru. It's just like, you don't have to announce your departure. Actually, like we get it. Like we're all built. Like, I'll wait. I'm on my phone in the fucking drive-thru. Like, if you can't handle 25 minutes for KFC, then yeah, I guess you're not built for this.
Yeah, and it's worth it. You know,
it's not.
Yeah,
it's definitely not. But there is money to be made. Would you eat KFC? Would you eat 25-minute cold KFC?
Would I eat? No.
It smelled so good, dude. The original recipe, I was really wanted to reach in and grab a piece.
They have the vegetarian stuff now, right?
No.
Still no?
No, not that I've seen.
Is Five Guys the worst place to pick stuff up at? Because they're always like, we got to drop the fries when you get here. I hate that. It makes me so mad.
Five Guys is not the worst.
Okay.
Yeah, it is kind of the smelling food all day though does kind of waste money because I'm just like, I've been smelling McDonald's fries all day. I'm definitely getting McDonald's when I'm done. Like, I've just been thinking about it. The only reason I'm doing this. Also, I keep getting hit up for money. Like, when I go to McDonald's, there's people asking for money outside of McDonald's, and I gave this guy $20, and I'm like, well, I guess I have to drive for 1 hour more now.
Yeah.
Like, I just lost $20 now.
Yeah. That is a motherfucker. That is tough. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to recommend, finally, one of my favorite jazz organists. I want to hear what you think. Jack McDuff. Brother Jack McDuff. You got to check out this album, Moon Rappin'.
Moon Rappin'.
It fucking goes so hard, dude. It's like 1969 hot shit.
Do they rap?
No. It's just got that.
Because I like it back in
flavor.
1965 when sometimes they would rap.
Somebody would try to get a little something going.
Yeah. Let me answer the phone.
A little skibidi-boobidi.
I used to have it up there, but I just closed it. Obligato. Flat backing.
That's
There's
a
a
good
song
one.
called Flat Backing.
Yeah, something I like to do.
I like that. Well, I did that yesterday to help my back pain. My herniated, what I believe to be a herniated disc or a bulging disc or sciatica.
My diagnosis is sciatica. We'll
Yeah.
see what the doctor says, but I'm going with sciatica.
Yeah. Or just like,
Anxiety?
I don't think it's anxiety because of the numbness in my hands and action.
No, yeah. That sounds like a real deal thing.
I think it's probably
That happens for me.
I think it's like one of three things, right? One, it's big dick's disease.
Okay.
Just having too big of a dick.
Yeah,
you know?
so much blood flow can just like hinder the rest of the system.
Two, intelligence disease.
Yeah, throbbing
large brain
syndrome.
Yeah, I have a super large brain. And then three, it's probably pussy getting's disease.
Oh no,
because I
just
get
definitely
pussy
not that.
all
I
the
know
time.
that's not that.
Yeah,
true
it's one of
at
those
all.
three things.
Yeah, I couldn't see that being
Pussy
the case.
getting Brian. This sounds like right before we record the POD cast. A lot of time, I'll like try. John gets grossed out if I go like this. We out here getting that pussy, and he's like, "Stop! Don't say that."
He doesn't want to be one of those guys.
Oh yeah, Psychic Gasoline probably got it too. Two-fly-itis, maybe. Like
Could be.
yeah,
I've suffered from that in my day.
good looking, Brian. Like it could be that I'm too
Yeah.
good looking. It could be jazz. I don't know. But my fingers are numb. My feet are numb and my neck hurts, and it sounds like a Etch-a-Sketch. When you shake a Etch-a-Sketch, when I turn my head, it sounds like that in my neck, like right about here. So I think that's probably, it might be from,
All right.
I'm going to be honest with you, it could be from
Oh no,
You
it's
know,
not. It's not.
eating.
We know it's not.
Yeah,
We actually know it's
cunnilingus.
Yeah.
It could be from
not.
that.
Yeah, the way you said it, we know it's not. That's
Yeah.
just certainly not the case.
Getting all that cunny.
Yep. That's just cross that off the list. It certainly isn't that. You don't say that convincingly at all.
All right, we can take calls. People are just so grossed
Yeah,
out
say
by
now
this.
someone has to fucking answer to that.
Yep.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hello. Think this might be me. Hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hello.
Fantastic. Okay. I heard you on Bluetooth.
You can come down.
Up the Toledo area, and it's been a while since I called into Street Fight.
Nice.
So I wanted to talk to y'all about just like, I don't know, I've been going through some life changes recently. Had a recent, pretty significant split with a significant other. And I'm doing my best to not be bummed out or anything like that. So, I'd like to ask you both, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
I'm going to bum you out, sir. I don't like
Okay.
any. I don't think I've ever, I'll give you one. One that I enjoy that I've seen twice or three times.
Yeah.
Basically, I like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang a lot. That is a movie that takes place around Christmas.
That's the new Die Hard.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't
buddy.
fucking do that. I'm not a
So hip, dude. You're a hip cat.
I'm
my
not a
man.
freaking
You're a
Die
jazz
Hard
guy. You're a motherfucking jazz dude now.
No,
Finally, you have good taste, dude. I'm so happy for this new turn.
That's not what I'm fucking
what is
saying.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? I don't know this one.
I'm not saying Die Hard is a freaking Christmas movie. I'm not doing that right now.
Yeah, you did the real hit though.
Okay, I just like Shane Black movies. Any of the Shane Black movies that take place around Christmas. We're talking your Lethal Weapons.
Okay.
Your just not Die. You know what? I'm never watching Die Hard again just because Brett just did that. I'll never watch that movie not one more time. I guess I'm never gonna get to see the wonderful Die Hard again.
No, I'm just saying that I turned on the radio earlier this year, like the pop radio station WNCI, and I heard them having the Die Hard conversation, and I wanted to just crash the car. I thought about just jerking the wheel or letting go and not being alive anymore because I couldn't believe it was happening. But we have to push the envelope. We have to start making more movies into you gotta say Gremlins is my favorite Christmas movie and shit, right?
Oh, Gremlins might be. Gremlins is.
As a Christmas movie.
Yeah, that's a great one.
So I watched Gremlins on Christmas one year. My daughter we were just like, let's watch Gremlins. And it freaked my daughter out so bad. It was too scary. And one of my favorite things in the world in any movie, not even in just a Christmas movie, is that gremlin that's just like irresponsibly shooting a gun.
Yeah, that is fun time.
That makes me so happy. Just the 80s were so neat because like you could just have some shit like that going on in a kids movie.
A little bit of gun violence.
Yeah. See a little bit of fucking guy like irresponsibly waving a gun around and shooting it. Yeah, I'll say the Gremlins. Thank you, Brett, for saving my life. But Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is good.
No, I think that's a good choice. I was trying to congratulate you.
No, you weren't.
I was, absolutely.
You're trying to make me feel bad.
No, that's a cool choice. That's a way to browbeat people. Like you're learning about jazz so quickly.
I know.
It's a smart choice,
Bang.
dude.
Yeah.
I like it.
You got one? Do you like one?
To be honest, I'm going to give you the most
man.
I'm going to give you the most heartfelt version. For me, it's the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Oh yeah.
I have most of it memorized. It's also what I hope what happened to me. More than anything, I just want it to happen to me. Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah. I think the Santa Claus is funny too because like it seems like a lot of family comedies from the early to mid '90s feature just like a divorced couple, right? And then the mom starts dating like a psychiatrist or something like that.
Yeah.
And like the new boyfriend being a psychiatrist is such a like prevailing sort of thing, you know?
And he's got the good sweaters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the Santa Claus, but I've seen the Santa Claus 4,000 million times because it's one of Gwen's favorite movies. She loves the Santa Claus 3 and Fred Claus are her two big time Christmas movies. Yep. And Santa Claus 3 has Martin Short in it as Jack Frost. He's like the evil, he's Santa Claus's like enemy. And man, if you knew the amount of times I saw that movie, I just don't like. Here's the thing. I don't like dated things at all. Like, I go fucking bonkers when like, okay, so I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts, right? And here's the thing about it. When I cannot listen to a show that happened before the last show I watched. You dig what I'm saying there? That's jazz talk there. You dig what I'm saying there?
With what?
So, okay. Let's say there's a pay-per-view tonight, okay? A wrestling pay-per-view, okay? And tomorrow, I open up my app and I'm like, I'm going to listen to some wrestling podcasts.
Right.
I can't listen to anything that happened before the pay-per-view. Okay. Because it's dated
irrelevant
information.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to me. We know everything. And that's, don't do that. Burls. Now Burls is in the chat making fun of, I'm not Billy Crystal jazz guy. Have you ever heard that? Can you dig that? I knew that you could. I'm not that. But yeah, there's just like I don't like things that take place at a time at all. Nothing that takes place at a time.
What does that mean?
I only like things that take place not at a time.
We're stuck with time, though. Everything has a timestamp on it, right?
Yes, but 95% of movies don't take place at a time.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so you don't know when it was happening in history.
It could be fucking August. It could be fucking December. Gotcha. It could be January. I don't fucking know what month it is.
What? Just Ben Alexander says, "Uh-oh, is Brian on mushrooms right now?" I also felt like I was on mushrooms for like a half minute there when you started saying that.
I don't
like
understand
it made my whole
weird
reality melt.
Yeah, I don't understand what's weird about it.
I don't like to do things at a time, man, either. That's all a construct, man. Time is the fourth dimension of space, man. It's all connected.
I just don't want to watch
jazzy.
The jazz has been fucking me up, dude.
It's all those extra notes that you can throw in when you stop thinking about time. You can get extra notes in.
It's not about time. It's just that, like, if I turn on a movie and it's Easter, but it's not really Easter, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? If I turn on Die Hard in August, I'm like, why are we watching this fucking movie? It doesn't happen.
I couldn't open up my door and see this right now.
Yeah. That's a good point, right? I mean, I'm not that weird of a guy where it's like I can watch a movie that takes place in a different season at a
I was concerned that you
at
couldn't.
a time.
I was concerned that you can only watch movies that match your window and what's outside your window.
But I'm saying date wise, like important days, you know, I don't want to see Christmas I don't want to see Christmas on December 26th. You know how TSO, that's Trans-Siberian Orchestra for everybody that's listening. Yeah. So they tour from August to the first part of the new year. Right? I feel as though the only time it's really appropriate to see them is from Black Friday, until December 25th. They play in Columbus on December 26th. Now, I can't go to that. I'm out of that. It's over. I don't want to see things that look like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you want to see things?
Yeah.
Today? Things
Sort of
that
like
look
how
like today?
it's good to see the Misfits between September and October, really.
No, the Misfits is music, and that's different.
TSO is.
But you would never listen to Jingle Bells in May.
But it's exciting now that you mention it.
True.
You're just going to do it?
I would love to throw on a Christmas sweater and just go live one night of Christmas in May. God, I need that.
I don't
On
like
the
it.
in-group side, though, I don't think I'd ever listen to Halloween or, Left to Rest in the middle of, like, September, or
That's my whole life.
the middle of, like, August or April or something.
Halloween is a personality. That's okay. Christmas is not sustainable as a personality. Halloween can be a whole personality, though.
Yeah. I just don't feel like...
Hey, Cheer Rabbits in the chat wants to know, what about movies that take place in a place? How you feel about those? Like, if you know the place, does that take you, like, do you not like the place?
No, you know
want it
why,
to be
though?
a liminal space? No place?
Do you want me to explain the places thing?
Yeah.
What I do is,
Okay.
when I watch a movie, it either takes place in L.A. or New York.
Really?
And then I just assume like, well, that's, this, if it's the suburbs or if it's something like that, it's L.A. If it's snowing or a city, it's New York. And then it doesn't bother me because I'm just like, yeah, I mean, this is an LA movie. I was thinking about that yesterday. I watched this fucking TV show, this Pen 15, and it never is cold on Pen 15. And I was thinking about it, I was like, I really like this fucking show, man. I'll bet it takes place in California. That's basically how I think of stuff.
Like happy and sad? Like
No, it doesn't have anything to do with the mood. I'm just saying, like, they never get right any places, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. How can you, once you name it, like it's not the real thing, right? Once you say it's New York, it's not anymore. New York changes on a dime.
No, it doesn't.
It's a feeling. It's not a time and space, man. It's just like something you can't grasp with your hands. If you try to capture it, it disappears.
I don't like movies that take place in Ohio. Scuzz Monkey's asking me. Brian can only watch movies that take place in Columbus. I don't like movies that take place in Ohio because I know it's not Ohio. I know it's California. So when they say this movie takes place in Ohio, I just be like, California, though. It's actually California where this is happening.
Okay.
I just have like a really bad fucking brain when it comes to like, I think it's like from being young, okay? When
you being young, it was damaged you?
Well, yeah. obviously. Okay. But it is like when I was a kid.
The problem with being old is that you were once young. That's true. That's very insightful.
I never moved past like kid that fucking is like, that's fake. I don't believe that. In my mind, I'm just like, nah, that's, you know. I mean, I've said this before. I thought, thank you. Forever since breakfast that I hate fake Boston accents. Yeah, just everybody talk Midwestern. You know what I mean? Just talk like you're from Ohio.
But how do we make fun of the beans?
Just, again, if they say the city that the movie takes place in, I'm okay with that. It has nothing to do with places. It has 100% to do with just very specific seasons. I just feel like all movies. Here it is. Here's the rule of Brian.
I'm like,
here's the rule of Brian.
Up like right now. I'm about to fall over. I'm fucking dizzy.
Here's the rule. This is the perfect rule for all of you to understand this. All movies need to be evergreen in order for me to enjoy them. Evergreen. That's 2 words, usually shortened down to 1 word.
Okay. So that's to say all that.
Yeah.
Spaces, places, times, rhymes. It's all.
Yeah.
It's all jazz. If
I
you
feel like
really think about it.
Yeah. I feel like everybody in the chat is unwillingly or willingly misrepresenting what I'm saying because it's not that confusing. I like movies that are just happening in life.
Okay.
That's it. It's not even that weird.
I have 0 requests of them. I just consider them like staring at a light bulb. So like whatever they say is what they say. I don't really have to have I don't have any expectations from them except that somebody spent their time on them.
Oh, now Psychic Gasoline asked me a very interesting question that I do have an answer for. What makes a movie worth rewatching? I am never rewatching a movie again.
Wow.
I made that decision like a decade ago.
You don't want to say the line before it happens?
I made that decision 10 years ago.
Ugh.
Before Street Fight,
Ugh.
I had made the decision I was never watching a movie a second time. And I have largely stood for it and done it. And it serves me great in that, like, the Marvel movies.
Dude, you're getting philosophical as hell, man.
No, it's not philosophical. I just don't
blowing
want to
my
watch a
mind,
movie
bro.
a second time. I remember.
Can you ever experience the same thing twice?
You can't. And I'll tell you why. I saw that Captain America Civil War. That's how I'm going to explain. Okay? I saw Captain America Civil War. I saw it in the movie theater. I was high as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, just smoked I remember I used to, like, smoke a lot of joints by myself and just go to the movies. I smoke a joint in a parking lot. I go in. I see Captain America Civil War. I fucking leave. I go home. Like, it comes out streaming a few months later. I say, Katie, I loved this movie. We need to watch this movie. We sat down to watch it. I hated it. And the same thing happened with a Thor and another one of those movies. It ruined the fucking movies. Watching it a second time makes you be like, I don't like this movie that much anymore. I've already seen everything that happens.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched a movie a second time in so fucking long. In a very long time. I just don't like it. So I just only have like 3 or 4 rules about movies.
What about the comparison of feelings of like joy versus disgust? You know, do you like to have the contrast between those in a rewatch? Do you think you don't think that's important at all?
No.
To know that you're disgusted with something you once loved?
No, I don't like that. I don't like the.
You
I
think
like
it's
the fucking
revelatory?
if you make a deal with yourself in this world where you say, I'm never going to rewatch a movie again, you will like every single movie you see for the rest of your life.
Wow.
That's a fact. Okay? Like, I haven't disliked a movie since I made this deal with myself.
Okay. That's the
Because
method.
I never have to watch it again. I know when it's over, even if it was shit, I never have to see that again. It's fucking great. It's so smart. So, and then somebody said you never watch something with somebody else to see their reaction. No, I hate that. That is like an intense pressure I feel at all times. Where like if I go to the movie, like say me and Brett decided after the podcast that we were going to go to the movies, I wouldn't do that because if he didn't like the movie, I would act like it was my fault that the movie sucked. So I don't like that either.
Let's see what our callers.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. I got a
We
little
had to
wild
riff,
there.
you know.
Yeah.
We had to.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good. Thank you for talking with me a bit tonight, guys.
Hey, thank you for calling.
Yeah, most definitely. Have a good
Yeah?
night, y'all.
You too.
Peace.
See, that's a good question. What about Friedberg and Seltzer movies?
What about 'em?
I didn't like them, but I'm not bummed out. I wasn't bummed out after I watched them. I was just like, that sucked. I never have to see that again. I will say that I was extremely happy when we finished Super Fast. Like, I've never been happier than when we finished the last one of those movies.
Yeah, but but what about in a matter of going out on a line and saying this movie is important or this movie is valuable, or saying this is I'm like earnestly important to me, knowing that other people are going to say it sucks or it's a bad choice or something. Are you capable of doing that?
I don't like doing that with movies. I don't mind it with music, but with movies, I don't.
You just want to stick to the junk?
I do. I don't know why. I can't sit through a long.
No one can be mad at you for watching the junk.
Well, I can't sit through slow stuff anymore. I've fucking bailed on every TV show I've started in the past probably 2-3 years just because I'm like, it's too slow. I don't want to watch this anymore. So.
All right, let's get on the phone.
Yep.
We have an important caller here. I'm sorry, I just noticed you were there. Hey, Marla from Dallas. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can y'all hear me?
Well, you sound great. It's good to hear you.
Okay, awesome. I'm actually getting ready for a shift at the club right now, so if you hear a bunch of rummaging in the background, it's just me getting ready. But yeah, I've been doing great.
You're doing well?
Yeah, some fucking stripper ASMR in here.
How is everything going? The last time you called, you had this weird freak that kept coming in and bugging you. Did that end up resolving itself, or is it still sort of a problem?
So it resolved itself because, like I suspected, with these men who get, quickly obsessed and start love bombing me, is that they get bored of me very easily because they realize pretty quickly that, like, their emotional manipulation and, like, their money, like, it doesn't do anything for me. Like, I will walk away from money so fucking quick because if it's from somebody who's, like, driving me nuts, it's not worth it. Because when you're in a club, like, there are 100 guys in front of you. So, like, one, even if he's a baller, if he's insane, I don't want to fuck with him. So that guy, he stopped messaging me. He stopped coming into the club. I'm like 99% sure he's out of the country on like holiday right now. So that problem resolved itself. And I'm just glad that I got through that period of time where I was wondering to myself, like, is this guy annoying or is he dangerous? Like, is he going to start stalking me? Turns out he's just annoying. Lucky for me. So situation resolved, and I'm not really worried about it.
And that's what most guys are doing. They're trying to impress you. They're trying to say they have some sort of emotional intelligence to see if that you're going to like devote your life to them or something, or fall madly in love with or break down. And like, they're never slick. They have no chance at all. That sucks. But you have to think about like, where it's going to end up.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if he's annoying. Like, it's hard. It's like, is he annoying or dangerous? And, you probably assume, at least I always have, like, most of the time he's annoying. And, you know what, though? That is just, that's so scary. It's so crazy. Like, so many people that I've been, like, truly irritated by, I didn't know if I was afraid of them or not, so I get it. How are things going now?
I see somebody, things are going great with me, honestly. Like, money has been good. I took most of November off to hang out with my boyfriend Garrett in Seattle, and like I met his family for Thanksgiving. So I had a really nice break from work. And my boyfriend's family, like they know what I do for work. And they were totally cool about it. Like they didn't ask me a single question about work because I don't know. I thought that was very respectful of them because they weren't sure if that was going to make me feel weird for them to ask me about work, but they know what I do and they were super chill about it. And I've been having a great couple months. You know, I've just been trying to work hard and push hard through the last month of December here. And I see somebody in the chat. I just wanted to bring this up. Somebody in the chat says a stripper was recently murdered in a similar situation. And I think what this person is talking about is the dancer from Dallas, my city, who was stalked by a customer. And this customer put a tracking device on her car and he stalked her and he ended up shooting her while she was driving her car. I believe this was in Fort Worth. But she was a dancer in Dallas. And so a lot of dancers local and really nationwide, like we're talking about this and talking about, you know, how do we keep ourselves safe as dancers? And of course, that happened about a month ago. And I was still in that mindset of, I don't know if the guys that I was dealing with are going to be dangerous. But I actually wanted to talk a little bit about this dancer who was murdered by this guy, because obviously she's in my city, so it's way closer to home than for a lot of other people. Her name was Abigail, and she had been a dancer in Dallas for a couple of years. And I feel kind of, you know, it's so intense trying to talk about these things in like kind of a clinical manner and try to explain to people like what the dynamic with dancers and customers are, because I found out about this girl's murder and like I started sobbing immediately because she reminded me so much of myself. You know, a younger Latina woman in the city just working to provide for herself. And there are certain details about this case that are absolutely nuts. Like this customer who stalked her and murdered her, he started posting on his Instagram about her, like pictures of her and texts that they had sent back and forth containing information about like her rates and them going on dates and stuff like that. And I bring this up because I just wanted to make a point here about how this guy who stalked and murdered her, he made an Instagram post like calling her out for being an escort. And he tagged the Dallas Police Department in his Instagram post about her and basically tried to expose her to the police so they can like go after her. And it really hit home for me because it made me realize, it really reinforced, you know, what I already knew about how the men who buy sex, they act like it's not illegal. Like they act like they are not breaking the law.
Yeah.
And men like that, this was a white guy. This is a white guy who murdered this Latina woman. And he assumed, and I would argue in many cases rightfully so, that the police will always be on his side, that the police are there to serve him. So he felt free to call this girl out by her government name on Instagram, calling her a prostitute and tagging the fucking local police department in his post.
Yeah, for the most part, they're like, I mean, this is my natural urges. Of course, I'm taking advantage. Everybody knows we do this type of thing, and now she should be in trouble, you know? Or like, I want to use the law against her because everybody knows this is how it goes. I mean, the reason these things happen because there's no popular conversation. I mean, it's happening the youth are more, you know, into talking about sex work being labor and that kind of stuff, but we're so far away from it as far as even people in my generation. I mean, it's still something that is not to be talked about openly at all. You know?
I mean, when I think I you know, I see this every now and then. I don't know if this is like a huge amount of people, but I've seen people that are still against sex work on the left. Which, if people on the left aren't 100% in agreement on this thing being like a job and work and a legitimate way to make a living, then like I wonder if it's just going to take a generational push, or it's going to take people being more open. I think it's incredible that your boyfriend's parents know, and I know they're in Seattle, which is a crazy place where they're just like, it seems like a really progressive place to me every time I've been there. But like that they know and didn't ask any questions and didn't bug you about it. I think that's like really fucking cool, and it's really encouraging. And I also think it's very brave of you to tell them, or maybe not to tell them, but it's brave of you for allowing them to know that information, I think. And it's very cool. So I don't know. I wanted to say that. I just don't know. Like, I don't even. Let me be honest, Luke. I don't even know what my parents would think if I don't even have an answer for you for what my parents would think, good or bad. I don't know. I have no fucking idea what they would think. And like, that is sort of one of those things that like, there's inherent sort of risk in that stuff. So like, it's very, that's like really cool. And also, God, that's scary. I mean, putting a GPS on somebody's car is about the scariest thing I can think of. Like, that is the kind of shit that makes me scared to be a public figure. You know what I mean? It's like somebody could just put a GPS on my car and find me,
Yeah.
Oh, what is this noise? It's money. I know.
Yeah. And the thing about that woman, Abigail, is that she found the tracking device a couple weeks before she was murdered. And, she went to the police. She filed a report. The man who murdered her was, on the cops' radar. But the cops say the same thing to, like, every stalking victim. Basically that there's nothing that they can do about it until he actually does something. Because she couldn't prove without a doubt that it was him who put that tracking device on her car. So she did everything right. She went to the police, like people I'm sure told her to do, and they couldn't do anything. And what could they have possibly have done in that situation?
Yeah, and
God, it makes me so sad. It makes me so fucking sad, because even when your life is in danger, like, what do you do about it? Move?
Yeah, I mean, and you're right.
There's not a whole lot you can do.
But you hit the nail on the head when you said it's indicative of like the police and what they do, which is to uphold the order, the regular order, which is that guy has power and other people don't. And as long as like dancers are marginalized and treated as like a seedy or disrespectful thing, or like they create their own problems, when in actuality, like the type of men that are using these services are more likely to be violent or to act on these things. I mean, there is a lot of evidence that this guy was going to do something, and but the police aren't there to like solve crimes or prevent them. Like, they're just there to keep the status quo.
Yeah, and also I do want to say that like, this is in no way a defense of the police or anything like that, but like, we always say we don't want them bugging people, right? Like pulling people over for speeding or stopping people and asking what they're doing and shit like that. But this reminds me of all the times that, like, if somebody's missing, if somebody hasn't seen somebody for a few days and they're like, well, you gotta wait a while before we go looking for them. You know what I mean? We can't go. And it's the same thing with stuff like this, or like remember we had that person call about her neighbor was an abusive husband, and like, how do we deal with this without the police? And it's like, I don't even know how you would deal with it with the police. Like, I don't even know where you even go with the cops. Like, without them, just seems like it's such a weird fucking situation we're in. And like, not me, but like, I just don't know what the cops could do. And I don't know what, other than arrest them for a couple days. And I don't know what, like, you could do as a person. It almost feels like you're destined to sort of suffer the consequences of this person's issues, right? Like if you're a sex worker and a stalker happens, it almost feels like the only solution they really offer people is go buy a gun and kill them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only solution that they offer. Yeah. Yeah. It is just a thing where it's like, I guess
like we can't charge it for murder until he kills you.
Yeah.
It's obvious he's going to kill you, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like some of this stuff could have been. They spend way too much time on bullshit versus these things.
Yeah. Yeah. People have been saying that forever. If the police was just a group of people who fucking dealt with stuff like this, you'd be like, oh, this is fucking, it's nice having police. They're not that. They're people who spend all their time ignoring this shit and beating up people that want nothing to do with them, that are just living their fucking lives. Yeah. So, yeah. Ugh. I fucking hate the police. And stalkers, by the way. Actually, in my life, you're the first person I ever talked to that had like a weird, like, scary situation thing. So I'm glad it worked out. I'm really, I'm happy for you. And like, I hate that you have to go through this situation where you're like, is this person annoying or dangerous? Because, I mean, that would be the thing I could never figure out. I could never figure that out as a person. So I'm glad you're well, though. Ew, you guys want to hear something gross?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear something a little bit gross?
Sure.
Cheer rabbits in the chat. Okay. Did you see that? You want to hear it?
Sure.
She said somebody handed her a man on a fucking train handed her a folded up letter that said, I really heart your pink hair. Text me. I'm single and ready to mingle. Ah ha ha. And I'm like, ew. Why don't you just talk to the person? It's so unpleasant to pass a note. But I guess they're probably scared, right? Like, as a guy like me, I'm going to pass a note to somebody. I don't know. They said it was unpleasant. So, and they followed her to the door when she was getting off at her stop and handed her the note. So that's weird. I was just saying. I just thought that was weird. Mm-hmm. But, whatever. What are you going to do? Okay. Yeah, it makes it even better that it was on the back of a betting slip.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
What are you going to do? Maybe they won. So, I hope everything goes well. I hope you have a good Christmas. I hope you make enough money that it doesn't affect you too badly.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm looking at the chat. I just want to say one more thing before I head out here for my shift. People are talking about legalization, and I got to reiterate that what sex workers want and what we've been fighting for is decriminalization.
Yeah.
And so the difference there is that legalization is it makes police the de facto regulators of sex work. It means police basically have to check, like, do you have a permit to be doing sex work? No, you're arrested. And obviously that affects, like, the most marginalized among the sex workers. And so what we want is full decrim, police completely out of this industry, and it allows us to be more open about our work. It allows us to fight against discrimination from social media giants, from banks, from the police themselves. Like, decrim is the beginning for sex workers. It's not the end point. and decriminalization of prostitution, solicitation, and all related statutes of prostitution and solicitation. Like, that's what's going to get us where we need to be. So
Yeah. I mean, that's what
always decrim, not legalization.
exactly. That's what people in you know, for lack of a better word, the legalized drugs movement have always said: decriminalize them, fuck legalizing them. We've been handling it for years. We just need to, you know, have access to the stuff to make them a little safer. Is all. So, thank you for saying that. That is perfect.
Exactly.
Tell people where your Substack is, so they can subscribe.
All right. I am Marla Cruz. My Twitter is at ProlePeach. That's PROLE Peach on Twitter. And my Substack is Marla Cruz. That's CRUZ at Substack.com. You can find my writings about being a stripper, about decriminalization, and I'm definitely going to put up some new posts on my Substack here in the new year, and I hope y'all will read them. So y'all have a great night, and I hope I'm about to have a great night at the club too.
Yeah, we wish you the best.
Yep. Wait.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Yeah. Oof. Dangerous or annoying? I bet you, like, every woman has to deal with dangerous or annoying. Like,
Yeah.
with almost every dude they meet.
That's their that's like all the time.
It's just,
I mean, we live in guys are in their own mind creating like a fantasy world, you know, that they aren't, the rest of the world isn't involved in, you know. They make up some sort of thing in their mind about a person on the bus with pink hair, and then they pass them a note, and then things change, but they don't understand what like empathy is, and like real human connection, and like getting to know somebody and being able to have a conversation, you know. They consider it literally like women are prey. Women are just things that we conquer and kill and fuck and take advantage of. Like, it's totally horrible fucking world we live in.
yeah.
In that regard, still, I mean, we haven't moved very much, and like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not brave of Marla to go do any of that stuff. It's those people are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Because she does her job, and that's fine, and deals with an incredible amount of violence and all that stuff. A friend of mine, Indy, she just took a glass to the face. A woman came into the club and threw a glass in her face, and she had to go get stitches.
For like what reason? A woman came in?
Yeah,
and did
just
that?
a super drunk lady was mad for some reason and spiked a glass in her face.
It's like people who think that you're there as... I mean, I think this
they're
happens...
your property. I mean,
Yeah.
they're dehumanizing people. It's like we got to the point of not understanding this person is paid to be naked and party and have a good time with you versus this is a commodity. This woman is just something control and own, and that's what those predator guys are all about too. I have enough money to own this person, you know, and if you show any sort of freedom or autonomy, then they're not into it.
You're exactly right. Yeah, you're totally right. With especially at strip clubs, like, you know, you go to a concert with like people performing on a stage, and you know, for the most part, everybody's very respectful of those people. They see those people as being a step up, like a sort of artist. For me, actually, growing up
that's
and
the whole
going to
thing. That's why they're above you. Yeah.
I see them as in a way better than me or higher than me in some kind of a social hierarchy. And I'm respectful to them because they're putting themselves out there in front of me and they're doing something, right? And I don't ever feel like that. I feel like that is not the understanding at a strip club,
And
which is so bad.
It's insane to me. It's just insane to me because it's treated as if like getting naked is so easy and that anybody that did it can make a lot of money. But do you want to have stalkers? Do you want to have someone throw a glass in your face? Like, how much are you willing to put up with people treating you like shit? Like, it's not just getting naked. Like, the world makes it harder than anything to just be really good at dancing on a fucking pole. That's what the job should be. But instead it comes with so much violence. And, you know, because of the way society treats that, as if you don't offer anything because all you did was be sexual.
And even just like the idea that you would have to lie to people about what you do for a living is really, that is a cruddy thing. Sorry.
No, I mean, it's yeah. We have a lot more progression to make on that, you know, but we're not there yet. It's not the world we live in.
Yeah. Oh, Outer Organism in the chat said, I only went to a strip club once when I was 18, but I never went back because the crowd in the audience grossed me out too much. And I never felt that way when I used to go to them like regularly and do the whole thing. I did the whole strip club experience when I would go. Then when we were making Heat O'Brien Unleashed, and me and Brett had to watch Real Sex, and they would show a strip club, but the camera would like be on the stage looking at the guys' faces instead of the woman. And I was like, oh, well, now I don't like this. I don't like the look. I don't like the joy in their face or the way that they're there. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I got to go to the door.
Okay. Gotta go to the door. Gotta go to the door. Nick from New Zealand.
Oh, damn it. I'll be back.
Brian wants to hear more. Yeah, I mean, you know, folks, you have to be more out loud and open. We have to give all the solidarity in the world to our dancer friends because the shit's stupid and they're always being attacked. And everybody enjoys what they do, you know, but it's a fucked up world. Let's see who's on the phone here. Oh, it's Nick from New Zealand. I already said their name. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Howdy. Who?
Hey, it's awesome to talk to you. I missed out on talking to you last week with the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I was busy. Busy not being online. Is someone coming in?
Speaking of like perilous work situations, I was really fucked up to hear about the Amazon warehouse getting hit by the tornado a couple of days ago, where like Amazon still don't even know how many people are like dead from it. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I saw today that they had told people that worked in the like adjoining warehouse that they have to come to work today at noon or some shit. Like, they're like, just get over it. It's work time.
I have something important to ask you, Dick.
So fucking abysmal.
Nick from New Zealand.
man.
I have something important to ask you. So are they really gonna? I don't know enough about politics out there. Are they really gonna ban smoking there by 2025?
Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, like going on.
Old people are allowed to smoke, but young
we were
people
talking
aren't
about
allowed.
last week, they were gonna. Yeah, so
Have
what
you
they're
heard it?
doing, I think, is like they're doing a sinking lid policy, which means that anybody who's 14 will never be able to smoke. So our smoking age is 18, so that means in 4 years' time, that's when they'll start it. And yeah, anybody who's allowed to smoke now will still be able to buy them. But we're fucked up. Like, we've been putting up the price of cigarettes 10% every year.
Is
so
that
they used
like-
to be super cheap, but now they're super expensive.
So let me ask this. Is that a thing like here when they say like, because they've said they're going to make cigarettes illegal here before too in the past. Like they're
Dude,
just like,
dog,
someday
they're
we're gonna-
been-
No, they
Yeah.
are like real crackdown nanny state over there. They do really follow through. They actually follow through. We got
Yeah.
neglectful ass parents here.
Yeah. So it's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what the Labour Party who's in power is saying at the minute. And it's being promoted like we've got a really good, well, it could be better, but a really good representation of, we've got it's hard to explain because it goes back to like when New Zealand was first colonized by the English. And essentially, like, we've got a treaty which says that there's equal sort of sovereign rights for both Māori Indigenous people and Pākehā, which is the term used for English sort of, colonizers at the time. And so we've got separate Māori seats in government, and they're all taken up at the minute by the Labour Party, which is our sort of centre-left social democrats, kind of. And we've also got a political party called the Māori Party, and it's a real big push by the Māori Party and also the people in the Labour Party who hold the seats in those Māori seats to push this, because Māori have such high rates of smoking and really, really hurt by it as well. They have really poor health statistics. So, yes, I think it'll push through, but if the centre-right sort of National Party comes through and wins the next election, they could say it's not going to happen as well.
Can I ask you this? What is, like, the rules around vaping there? I'm so curious about this.
They're not doing anything about it.
Okay.
Vaping in New Zealand is not like the States. Like, you can still get flavored vape stuff. Like, I don't live in, like, the highest socioeconomic area in Christchurch, and there's like fucking 5 vape stores down the road. It's crazy, man. It's gone off real heaps here.
You can get good vape flavors in most places in the United States. It's just California and New York,
The big brands, like RJ Reynolds and Philip Morris, can't make the fun flavors, but they import all kinds of mango and lychee and everything, like, constantly. The drive-thru has plenty of those.
Yeah. So, I guess, what is weed there? Like, what are the rules around
everywhere.
weed?
It's not legal. There was a referendum where Jacinda Ardern, who's our Prime Minister, right? She didn't come out and say whether she was pro or against legalizing marijuana. And this was at the last election, so we do referendums then. And the vote was like 49.5% in favor of legalizing, something like that. So we were like right on the edge of legalizing it. But it didn't happen, and it's really gutting, but at least the police have sort of come out and said they're not looking to prosecute anybody for possession. So, like, it's not legal, but it's also no one gives a shit and everybody smokes weed all the time. So
how is America the only
good,
place, right? Well, Amsterdam. But how is the United States and Canada the two only places where it's legal around the world? Like, arguably, the United States being one of the most backwards places in the world, and we have it in most places here.
Yeah, I mean, because all we care about is doing toxic, poisonous, like shit to ourselves.
We love it.
That's all we care about the most, is the most destructive possible things.
Yeah.
We in New Zealand we've got like, people smoke weed fucking all the time. Everybody I know smokes weed. I don't, but that's only because I've got I think you guys have talked about panic disorders before. I've got a pretty nasty one. It fucks me up. The drinking culture in New Zealand is also, like, abhorrent. Like, it's real fucked up.
That's life.
So I mean, to me, I would like it to be legalized so people don't have the stigma and would smoke weed rather than drinking too much and the health outcomes due to that.
Is alcohol like 18 or 21? How old do you got to be to get it there?
18. Yeah.
18, man, that would have made everything better for me, because when I turned 18, I still had to wait another 3 years before we could get it, and it makes you really mad when you're 18 years old and there's something you can't get, because they tell you you're an adult here, and then you get super mad because really the only things you could get cigarettes, but you gotta be 21 to get cigarettes now, and you could get...
You have to be 21 to get cigarettes?
Oh, yeah. You got to be 21 to get cigarettes in Columbus, at least.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea.
Yep, 21 to get nicotine, period. You got to be 21.
Wow.
It just happened, like, 2 years ago. See, we don't think about this stuff.
No, it's not relevant to me.
Yeah, I don't care if you got to be 21 or not, But yeah, 21 for alcohol and 21 for cigarettes in the United States. 18 for pornography. You can get pornography at 18, but you can get that at any age now. But back in the day,
that was tough.
it was tough. Before the internet, you had to be 18 to go to the porno store, and then you could go in there and pick up some porno. And that's literally when you turned 18 in Columbus. I didn't know anybody that didn't go to the porno store.
Lion's Den.
Yeah, the Lion's Den. Yep.
Also, when I turned 18, I went and bought some like cigs, and they swiped my ID in the little machine, and it played "Happy Birthday" for me.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
That never happened to me.
It was like boo doo 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 doo. Yeah. It was
In
nice.
Virginia, I get TJ Borg says weed is 21 as well. It's 18 in Ohio. Weed, you can get it at 18. So that is a cool thing. But you got to get prescribed it by a doctor and all that shit. So it doesn't really fucking matter. I'm sorry. I can't believe I derailed your call to the point where I just was like, I can't believe they're not going to let people smoke cigarettes anymore in New Zealand. And it just got me thinking.
I think
like,
it's pretty. It's funny that the headlines that because we've had it going through our politics for years and years about smoke free 2025, and they've done a lot of price increases, and like I said last time, it's super easy to get nicotine replacement and therapy and all that sort of shit. But the headlines that you guys get in the States from New Zealand must be pretty fucking wacky, because there is some weird shit that happens here. But in the context of New Zealand, it kind of makes sense.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It just seems wacky in the United States because it doesn't feel like we're even considering making cigarettes illegal here. I mean, we're basically the thing with cigarettes here is like you can't smoke them indoors anywhere, except for in Pennsylvania. Actually, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, that was great.
It fucking rules.
Yeah.
Harrisburg and what's the other place? Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You're just like, what am I doing? I'm standing indoors smoking cigarettes. This is fucking great.
No one's mad.
Yeah, we went to a bar and you could smoke in the bar in Harrisburg, and I was like, this is crazy. It just feels so weird being inside with a cigarette.
That was 2020, right?
Yeah, it would have been our
Last show
live
before
yeah.
we dropped Jake off. Yeah.
I think it's like a kind of a big distinction between somewhere like New Zealand and the States, where I guess the social cohesion or social responsibility factor sort of plays into it heaps. Because I know that with our coronavirus response, we went into fucking hard lockdowns and tried to isolate it out of the country, and it pretty much worked. But it's wearing off at the moment. Whereas I know in the States that shit just wouldn't fly at all. It's so much more individualist over there, which can certainly be a good thing. I don't particularly want the government banning cigarettes. I think it's pretty stupid, but I don't think it's a state control thing as much as maybe it is. I don't know. I've got some fucked up thoughts about it. Same thing with vaccine mandates for getting into workplaces. As a person who really wants to push for workers' rights, I don't know where I stand about it, because when I asked all the union members at my office, they said, yeah, fucking no vaccine, no entry. So, they're all on board with it. But, if we've got a member who doesn't want to get vaccinated for whatever reason, which is fucking stupid anyway, should they have the right to not come into the office? I don't know. Confusing.
No, that's very interesting for me too, because I'm allowed to push a crazy progressivism in America because it's not going to happen. But in places where they're no, you're not allowed to smoke anymore. Or no, you can't fucking leave the house if you don't have a vaccine. How would I feel in that environment? What would my mentality be? I guess I am probably more community oriented in that I don't mind suffering for other people. I don't feel that it's so important for me to it's not so important for me to smoke indoors that I think every waitress should have to put up with secondhand smoke.
Yeah.
If I want to do it, that's for me, but it doesn't have to, my habits don't have to be publicly available or acceptable. I don't have to, if I run a restaurant, I don't want someone with Omicron coming in that doesn't have a fucking vaccine.
No, totally. And my brother-in-law has just been in hospital. He was in, what do you call it, ICU, or high dependency unit. I don't know what they call it over there, but completely unrelated to coronavirus. But if we ran out of those ICU beds, and New Zealand's health system is really fucking poor in terms of its capacity. If we got a decent surge of coronavirus outbreak, like we would be completely fucked and inundated. And if it means that somebody who if we've got unvaccinated people or it spreads around because people are taking too many risks, it's like, well, my brother-in-law wouldn't have got the bed, he wouldn't have made it,
Right. And
that's everywhere. I mean, I think everyone's realizing that they were like, not everyone's going to get sick. Like, every hospital, no matter how you orchestrate yourself, all the hospitals were like, we don't need that many beds.
I do think that, like, if you're going to a job where you're indoors, you should have to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sorry.
I mean, and I've come to understand that and talk to people where, like, I've went to karaoke, I've went to bowling alleys, I've went to concerts, I've done every possible thing. All that they have in common is that I spent 2 or 3 hours there at the most. And that the people that I think are spreading most of this are working together for 8 hours. Like, it's line cooks, it's restaurants, it's offices, it's family gatherings in churches. Like, that's what's doing it. That's what's moving it along.
Right, exactly.
I feel really fucking bad for all of the workers, especially in retail, who they don't have they're not there for 30 minutes. They have to be there for 8 hours a day. It's the customers that come in who bring it to the workers, and that's the real fucking stressful bit of it. I did have a quick question, at work, there's a role that came up in a team leader role, and I work at a call center, and I'm really invested in the work that I do with the union as a delegate there. But if I apply and get a team leader role, then that means if you're in charge of hiring and firing, you can't be a delegate, or I guess you guys call them stewards. Like, where do you guys sort of draw the line in terms of how do I balance my own sort of what I need from a job, and I need money and all that sort of stuff, compared to how do I not get sucked in and become a massive corporatist and
I mean, you can't
end up being the people exploiting.
I mean, all that I can say, I can give you a right answer, but I don't know if I could live it or if anybody else can. But you should be doing the best for the people that are just getting hired on. And if it makes you not likable to management, you should get fired over that. You should make everyone uncomfortable by pointing out the disadvantage of being on the lowest rung of the pole.
I love that. I think that is the best thing, and this would be really good for unions. I'm going to say this for union members. So my brother-in-law is really dumb. He is a dumb man. He's a flat earther. He's all that stuff. He's one of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. He's very anti-union. And the reason he's anti-union is because he got a job at a union shop. Okay? It was loading trucks or some shit like that. He gets a job there, and the people with seniority, he felt they got, and this is how it should work, I understand, but they got the best schedule. They got, they did the easiest jobs. They got all this shit, right? So he got none of that. You can understand why somebody that's very stupid would end up becoming anti-union because he thinks that it's not fair.
Yeah, I disagree with that though, wholeheartedly. Because I think that if you put your time in, you do deserve more. You're more invested in the thing.
Sure, yeah.
But I think as a base level, it's what only gets better from here,
But it shouldn't be. I guess the way he described it to me was that people that he felt were in the union were actively making his job more difficult. And I think you couldn't start in the union. You had to wait or some shit like that. It's just one of those things they do to set people against the union.
That's a company thing.
Yeah. Companies love doing that.
That sounds really fucking wacky, eh? It's solidarity forever and all that. You want everybody to be on the same foot. I can't imagine why they've got rules like that. It's certainly not what I'd want to see in a union, but I mean, if that's what it's like over there, then
for me, all it is like if you're supposed to, if your job is to convince people not to strike, like don't do your job. That's all I can think.
Nick, I'm gonna blow your mind
fuck no.
here. I'm about to blow your mind. I would think that the amount of people in the United States that work at a call center that have a union is almost like a minute. I mean, it's wild for me to think about a call center with a union because, like, the one I worked in was
the union density in New Zealand is so much lower.
Yeah.
Ours is pretty good. Like, we've got it's a financial sector union because I work in insurance, like, you know, house and contents, that sort of thing, insurance. So we don't have proper health well, we don't need health insurance over here because it's state funded, right? I work as a like a real-time analyst or a real-time coordinator, and you guys might have had those in the call center. It's just a person who's just like, you know, make sure you're doing your breaks on time and all that. But it's quite funny because, like, all the operations managers, like, when I'm in the team meetings over Zoom, they just see my union poster behind me and they sort of know that I'm on the side of the workers when it comes to this shit. So trying to apply for a team leader role might be quite difficult with my sort of outspokenness anyway. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's so weird. I hate that they make you leave the union to move up in a company because it almost makes it feel like people are trying to work their way out of the union in a way. And then it's not as though your job gets more secure when you become a manager. I mean, every job I've ever had, the least secure jobs were the management positions, like the not top management, obviously.
Oh, fuck yeah, totally.
But I'm saying management that is like just one step above the workers on the ground. I mean, those motherfuckers get fired like crazy.
Yeah, it's just you have to make more money every single quarter or get fired.
Yeah.
It's like totally impossible.
I remember, like, they would offer people the fucking manager position. So at the cable company, they'd make you a lead. And people really jockeyed for the lead positions, you know? They loved them because it was so much less work. I did it for like 6 months, and it was just almost no work, right? But as soon as they said, do you want to be a manager? They all said no. And to the person, every person I talked to, they had to hire managers from outside of the place because everybody I talked to that were asked to move up to manager said no, they fire managers. And they didn't fire us because we didn't make any fucking money. So, yeah. That's, I'm really jealous that you have a call center union, though. We have a good one here. The IWW does it and stuff like that, but yeah.
We're not super effective, but, you know, we're there, and certainly helps for disciplinaries and all that sort of stuff where it comes to, you know, represent your workers and make sure they don't get fired. And we're lucky that our labour laws, like, while they're still not absolutely fantastic and we don't have the right to strike, so they're pretty decent. There's no instant dismissals and that sort of shit.
Cheer manager in the chat said something really funny as somebody called in back in like April and said that they worked at a call center and everybody that worked there was a manager, so they couldn't unionize. Remember, they did that at Jimmy John's too. Everybody's some kind of a manager at Jimmy John's, no matter what you do. So, very stupid. Nick, we love your calls.
I'll leave you guys to it, but Brian especially, I'll flick you a message on Twitter. I'm at real_Alan_Musk. And,
okay.
I've got some New Zealand new metal to send through. It's fucking embarrassing, man. We fucked it up real bad over here.
Oh no!
Oh, now I need to hear it.
I love y'all people, though.
Yeah, you're the best. You're outlaw.
We got good music, but new metal is atrocious, man. I was a huge fan of it when I was like 14, but yeah, looking back, it's pretty dreadful.
How do you spell Alan out there?
Yeah, I love you guys too. I got to come out to ALAN.
Okay. Yeah, and what's the band called?
I'll put it in the chat.
Out of curiosity.
It's Blind. There's a biggest one was Blind Spot, like one word but 2 T's on the spot.
Okay, yeah, they ripped off Korn. They probably heard the song Blind too and just went with that. So that's cool. Well, Nick, yeah, send that to me. I'll probably play it on a show sometime. And it was wonderful to hear from you. Call back anytime. And if you come to Ohio, we'll party with you for real.
Yeah, and if it costs you a lot to call us, we'll reimburse you.
Yeah. If it costs
No,
you
you're
money
all
to
good.
call us,
Keep
let us
up
know.
the good work, and I'll keep doing what you're doing, and I'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
We got to
Have
go
a
into
good night.
power mode.
What we got?
We got a lot of calls and
How
not a
many?
lot of time.
All right, you all each got like 2 or 3 minutes.
Wow.
It's got to be.
Wow.
Let's do it. Let's take the call.
Thanks for calling
I
Street
thought that was
Fight.
our last call.
No, they called him. They showed up.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
I forgot to introduce him.
Oh, not too much. I guess I'll try to make it quick, but this was kind of an impulse call. This is Adam
How's it
from an
going?
undisclosed location.
Parts unknown.
Not too great at the moment. I was trying to have a nice domestic day at home. Made some dough for focaccia that I'm going to bake tomorrow, and then I tried cooking a nice ragu to go with it. And I've had this Dutch oven for like 4 years now, and it's a Martha Stewart Dutch oven. I don't know if you know anything about her line of cookware, but I'm now learning it's not of the most reputable quality.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
So
any Food Network star or any celebrity chef, really all you want to get is commercial. I feel like is the only option to get really.
Yeah. No, I mean you got to go with Lodge or La Crusette if you have the money for it. But this was a gift a few years ago, and I liked it enough. And I have a skillet that is also I've also noticed kind of warps. It kind of has like a warp center, so everything kind of pulls on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
But I was making this meat sauce, and it turned out really nice. Probably about like $30 worth of meat that I've had saved in my freezer for a while.
Okay.
And sat down with it and got through about half the bowl and noticed that there were little black flecks in my mouth, and it was tasting pretty gritty. I remember cooking it.
Oh no! Yeah.
I remember when I was cooking it that I felt something scraping on the bottom, and I thought that it was just a little bit of caramelization left over, and I hadn't deglazed all the way. Not the case. It was the enamel was chipping all into my my ragu.
Jesus, that's terrible.
So I'm looking at it right now, and
Straight up
I
lead
tried
paint.
sifting through it, and they're just too tiny to get out. It's like trying to take black pepper out of a meat sauce.
Oh, I hate when something like that happens. That is like the worst feeling. When you make something and you spend time on something and then something bad happens to it and you're like, first you like are like, I think I can fix this. I'll just pick it out.
Yeah.
You know? I remember one night I was making cookies and I was like, okay, I'm going to make these cookies. And so I go to make the first ones and I forget to put sugar in. Second ones, I forget to put eggs in or butter or something like that. I fucked it up 3 times. Had to go to the fucking store twice while making these cookies. Didn't give up though. But the whole time I was like, I wonder if I can, do something to fix this. So that was bad. Well, do you got anything else? We're in lightning round here.
Okay, my wife is here. She just walked in from a Christmas party at Topgolf. Caitlin, do you have anything to say? Anything to report real quick?
Not a ton. I'll call back another time. Brian, I work at a running store.
Ooh.
I know you've tried some Hokas before. You have quite a shoe saga.
Uh-huh.
So I'd love to call in again and have a longer conversation with you about your walking.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's get,
for sure.
let's get a plane ticket and fitted you for the right shoes.
Yeah. Okay.
Get
I
your-
mean,
Hell
I have
yeah,
the right
hell
shoes. I don't think the shoes are what fucked my back up. I'll say that.
Okay.
Well, yeah, definitely call back. I'd love to sit and talk about walking for 45 minutes. I could do that.
Hell yeah, I'll call back. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye. All right.
Thank you, too.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you. Next call.
Yeah.
Next call. You gotta shut the tap off
What tap?
on the.
You can't turn it off.
Yeah, you can.
How?
I should just do it from over here. Answer the phone.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
How's it going, guys? Is it me?
It certainly is. Oh.
Fabulous. Hey, guys, this is Nick in Colorado. I was
You mean drum
listening to
ball?
the Wednesday episode, and you guys were talking about
Suspend call.
Christian metal,
Uh-huh.
and that is a rich vein to be explored. It was the front man for the band As I Lay Dying, which was a Christian metal band. I guess they still are. Like tried to hire a guy to kill his wife.
I've heard of this.
It was just, yeah, it's pretty bonkers. But there's a lot of interesting stuff in those bands for sure.
The Christian metalcore stuff. Sorry, I was showing
Yeah. I mean, some of it I think is legitimately good. Like I think Norma Jean still rules. They had Memphis Will Be Laid to Waste. That song still rips. But yeah, I think just the cast of characters in that genre is kind of fascinating.
I'll look into it because I think Brett knows a little bit about kind of Christian sort of scenes of music, maybe the hipper ones.
Well, yeah, I'm just half Christian.
And my buddy Aaron Bentley is gonna come on. Me and Tom are gonna do Holy Boys on the other side of our vacation. We're gonna do a whole series, and we're having my buddy Aaron Bentley on to talk about Christian. I think we're gonna have a few people on because I was gonna ask Brett to come on and talk also on the same show about like the kind of hardcore. We're gonna talk a little bit about hip Christianity on this one. We're just gonna do a whole episode on that just like because it was something I avoided like the plague.
For sure, yeah. It's definitely a place where a lot of weird stuff happens, and I think a lot of the bands kind of grew out of it. Yeah, I think that whole kind of subgenre is something that's real neat. I know you guys are timing things down, but can I just make a quick plug for my dumb podcast?
Yep.
Cool. It's called Slow Death by Podcast. You can find it pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts, and you can find us on Twitter at Slow Death Pod. I think it's what it is on Twitter. But thanks, guys.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Slow Death.
Appreciate you. Take care. Yeah.
Thank you. Peace.
All right. Bye.
All right. Last call, right?
2 more to go.
2 more to go. Let's get it done.
Thanks for calling Street Fight.
Hi, this is Dave in Seattle.
What's up, Dave? How's it going?
Well, good and bad. Now, we all said earlier that Seattle's a liberal place. Well, I don't really have time to get into it because you guys are in a rush, but that's not necessarily true.
I believe you.
However, Sawant did win her fucked up recall by 250 votes with the biggest, baddest ground game that the world has ever seen.
Right on. Well, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's probably a super lib city. I just feel like when I've been there, although, you know, I'm hanging around Street Fight fans, that people seem to be, and I find this on the whole West Coast, that people seem to be a little more sort of progressive in a social way of like
Oh, okay.
I don't know, like they don't have as much of the anti-LGBTQ stuff, and that, you know, it's way more frowned upon to be racist there than it is in like Ohio and like shit like that. I think is what I'm getting at. I believe that, like, obviously the state government is probably awful and very liberal, like libs. So Believe me, I know.
Yeah, it is. The governor is a bump on a log, and so is our King County executive. But yeah, it was really. I'll post Sawant's speech in the Patreon comments.
Nice.
And y'all can listen to it. But she brings down the fire. She names names. She roasts on her fellow city council members.
Nice.
We got this awful mayor coming in. There's going to be some real fireworks. It's going to be wild.
Sweet. All right. Well, yeah, post it in there.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at it.
All right, y'all. I'll call back another time with and give you a better rundown of what happened. But yeah, it was
Sweet.
pretty crazy. So all right, talk to you later.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Last call.
Last call. All right, we
Thanks
did
for
it.
calling Street Fight. Howdy, what's
What's
up?
up, Street Fight, yo? Hey, this is Trucker Jay. Just sorry, last minute call. You guys haven't talked about the Kellogg boycott at all, have you? You guys
No,
anybody called about it?
We talked about it on
Okay, I
Wednesday,
just-
but we should have talked. But we also, I just want to throw this out there too, because we're going to be like running out the door when we finish and stuff. But the Buffalo Starbucks thing is like really incredible. Some stores in Buffalo voted to unionize. If Starbucks closes those stores, I will never drink Starbucks again in my life.
What?
Said
No
this,
way.
and I will never.
No way.
I'm fucking serious. If they close those stores, I'll never touch that shit again.
Wow.
I've decided.
Yeah.
I'll fucking stop at the
gonna make it
when we're on
home?
tour. I'll stop at the gas station and just buy some fucking coffee inside the gas station. There's
Hell yeah.
plenty of places to go where I live where I don't have to go to Starbucks. I like it because they have big cold brews. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
their cold brew. Smaller coffee shops always only have
That's
like,
true. They don't give you 12 ounces. or
yeah,
something.
12 ounces. I want 20 of those ounces. And like that's the only reason I go to Dunkin' sometimes.
Yeah, they show too much concern
Yeah.
for your health at those small places.
hate
Starbucks
health,
will give you, they'll let you redline it.
Yeah, they'll give you a Trenta. I don't go Trenta, at least. I have. I did get Trenta once, and I was like, God damn, man, Brian, you don't need that much caffeine. My face, like, had pins and needles in it. Like, it was the one time in my life where caffeine actually made me feel, not just, it made me feel like I was on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah.
And I never get that.
That's why
feeling.
sober people do it so much.
You think so?
Absolutely.
It takes so much, though. Once you're addicted to caffeine, it basically, the amount that I drink in a regular day, which is actually a pretty small amount compared to what most people drink. Yeah, yep. Most adults, I would say. I have...
What's your numbers?
Okay, so in the morning, I have a glass, probably a 12-ounce glass of cold brew or iced coffee in the morning. I drink that, and then 3 hours later, I get a venti black cold brew, or at Dunkin' Donuts, a large black cold brew. And I don't have any more coffee after that. That's
Only
it.
500 milligrams a day. That's all. It's like nothing.
But I mean, what is average is what I'm saying.
Average is not 500. That's like 2 pots of fucking coffee.
What is average caffeine intake? We got to find this out now. Because I don't
think
want
it's
people...
just enough to kill you.
If you listen to...
It's too much. Like, that would give me a heart attack.
If you listen to the beginning of this show, and then you listen to this, and then it makes me seem like a fucking maniac now, because it now...
Oh, no. Is that what the show does?
The beginning of the show...
Is that what the show is done? Oh, no. We didn't mean to do that.
I actually, at the beginning of the show, I thought everything I was saying was very normal, and now everybody's calling me a psycho.
Well, I mean, yeah, you said space isn't space.
No.
And time is like
I said
an
I don't
idea.
like movies that take place in time.
Yeah. Katie is here. She made the same face. We won't redo it, but thank you, Katie, for reiterating the crowd's reaction.
Oh, shit, Brett. Consuming 400 milligrams is probably harder than you think. The dietary guidelines.
What's the average?
There, it looks to me like for people my age, for men in their
Virile men.
Yeah, virile, handsome men. A moderate daily intake level of caffeine for healthy adults is 400 milligrams.
Oh, okay.
They conclude that moderate coffee consumption up to 400 milligrams a day of caffeine can be part of a healthy diet.
No
this
way.
Is from,
Nothing's healthy about that.
No, this is scary. Actually, I'm going to have to move to a different site because this is actually from a site called the National Consumers League, which sounds like one of those organizations that's like...
you can do Starbucks all the time.
The National Suck Smog Out of the Air organization that works for Shell Oil. Well, see, some of the up to 400 milligrams is the thing. That's basically everywhere. Mayo Clinic said, how much caffeine should a male have a day?
Not should. Can.
I'm telling you what
pushing the limit. Not should.
I'm telling you what the question. It's people also ask. It's a people also ask. Okay. It is not part of I acknowledge that caffeine is not part of a diet.
No, right. But it's helpful. But then there's an extreme. It's a lot.
And it says up to 400 milligrams.
Okay.
And knowing me as a person, right? I am only 150 over that, which is good for me.
You're a 150 type guy.
Yeah, well, I'm just...
You live a 150 lifestyle.
Do you remember when I got prescribed my sleep medicine? And I don't know why. I never forgot this. It's a really weird thing. So I got prescribed sleep medicine finally. And the doctor said take 1 or 2 a night. And I'm over at Brett's. We're getting ready to record the podcast. And I'm like, I'm finally on this sleep medicine. Doctor said I should take 1 or 2 every night. So I immediately just started with 2. And Brett was like, why wouldn't you start with 1? And I'm like, I knew 1 wasn't going to work. I just need the 2.
Never been a minimum amount guy. I get it.
I never do the minimum amount of anything. I'm an overdoers club.
Right.
Is what they call me.
Yeah, I get it. ODC, me.
Wait.
As well.
Here's one. Here's a good question, though. Is 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day too much?
I mean, unless you're dead in the ground, no.
It basically says it's fine. But don't do too much. But they said even 1,000.
You're allowed to have... I mean, I do milligrams of all kinds of other stuff every day. So.
Yeah, I just think that's interesting. Sorry we cut you off there. You got anything? I'm sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. That's all good. I just had one thing to say. I think I DM'd this to Brett, so you can just ignore it when you read it. I was hanging out with my coworker today, and he has a teenage daughter who was going to go food shopping, and he's like, no Kellogg's. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, Kellogg boycott. And we kind of broke out all the information to her. And she's like, oh, that sucks. All I eat is Kellogg stuff. And I looked at her and I said, you don't have to buy it. So I feel like, I don't know. I was the guy who called it. Yeah, I was the guy who called in about the Sabra hummus boycott and all that shit. And I feel like it might, I think boycotting is just it's not that it's difficult, but it's just a pain in the ass. And it's if you can get hot Kellogg's products off the back of a truck or something, that's still continuing to support the boycott. You're just consuming the product, but you're not paying for it. You know what I mean?
I think
they lose money twice. They don't get the sale and they lose the inventory.
Yeah.
I got my great grains.
Right. It's hard to. It is.
Yes.
I will say that it becomes really, really, really hard to. The time that I think it becomes hard to boycott is when you're talking about these mega conglomerates. But Kellogg's is, I don't even feel like that's what Kellogg's is. Kellogg's does one very specific thing that you do not need in your life. As far as boycotting goes. All they do is cereals and granola and shit.
Yeah, I have a lot of those.
But you could get the other brand. Do you buy Bare Naked granola? That's the Kellogg's.
I did an inventory of my pantry and I did have a lot of their products.
Yeah, but you could easily not have
I can do other stuff, but yes, my life does, though.
I think it's hard. I think it's very hard with these conglomerates where it's fucking, if God forbid, if we ever had to boycott, what's that company that is the really all the food in the grocery store is from 3 people.
ConAgra,
yeah. What I don't even know if I could boycott ConAgra, possibly. Or when somebody's like, don't have high fructose corn syrup, and I'm like, but everything has high fructose corn syrup in it. I can't help it. So
Right.
we're all imperfect. But I think the Kellogg's boycott and my burgeoning Starbucks boycott, I think those are relatively easy. I think I can not do Starbucks. And the reason I did this is because I'm leading by example. My daughter loves Starbucks, and I told her what happened. And I said, I will never go there again. And I'm sort of hoping it makes her feel guilty so she doesn't ever go there again.
It's a great way to parent.
What are you going to do, man? I can't tell her she's not allowed. She'll be 18 next year, you know?
You can say no goddamn Starbucks in my house.
If you're going to come in my house, there's no goddamn Starbucks. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
sounds good.
That's the show. Thank you for calling.
No problem, guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the various union victories on Wednesday.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
It's easier to let the callers drive this show, especially when we've been recording since 5 o'clock. So
yeah,
we're just a little
We're on
punch
jazz
drunk.
time.
Yeah, we're on jazz time. We jazzing it up, you know. So that is the. Thank you for calling.
Peace. Bye-bye, all y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll keep doing the show as you've always, enjoyed. And we're moving upward and onward to 2022, deeper into hell. We all go together, but we're one family of folks that have each other over everything and can huddle together and after